Yeah. All right. A common dilemma that a lot of people have is trying to help their dog not be so aroused when they're trying to extract it from a crate. Now, this youngster is just over 4 months of age. She's very lively. She's a lovely little dog, but she has a fairly high level of energy. And we've had her for close to 4 weeks. And it's not that she's resistant; she's just a big ball of energy. And what we want to do is help her understand that in access or having access to the thing that she wants, which I don't know if the camera can pick up. Her bestie is right over here on my left. She knows that I have food in my hand, so she's mooching. And this youngster is sitting here going, why the heck am I in this crate in the garage? My abode is upstairs in the family room with the normal dogs. We're doing it down here just because we had to offload this crate from a vehicle, and it's just here right now, so we're using it while we can. So basically, and I'm sitting because I'm tired, so get over it. But for the most part, all I want is for the dog to respond appropriately to my presence at the front of the kennel. She's seen her friend. She wants out. She's been spooling around in the crate for a little bit, trying to get out. She's just realized that I actually have food in my hand. I'm waiting for an appropriate response, which is sit. She's sitting, so I'm going to pay that. I'm going to make a point of paying her when she's doing the thing that I want, because I don't want to have to wrestle her as she comes out. Same thing. You know, she's been out. She's been aired. She's had breakfast. It's fairly late in the morning. I think it's early afternoon. So she's got a bit of an appetite. I'm just using regular kibble. This is her food. Good girl. Very nice. Right? So all I'm doing is rewarding her in place for a protracted period of time so that she understands access to the outside is contingent upon her behavior on the inside. So she stood up again. Now my cameraman is moved, so she got alerted to that. She sat back down fairly quickly. The one thing about these Roughland kennel doors is the doors themselves are fairly deep, so trying to get her to get it out of my hands is a little difficult. So she's pretty much, she's been working on this process for a while. So I'm not, normally we do the standing, but for the most part, just because I came off a long road trip and I'm exhausted, I'm doing it this way for my own comfort. When we stage extracting the dog from the crate, and she's a young dog, she has an ID collar on. It's not training equipment, but it's easy for us to be able to extract her under control, put her training equipment on, and then be able to move away. So she is outfitted with a standard chain training collar. She is also outfitted with a Star Mark small prong martingale that's made out of high impact plastic, because she's a lot of dog. And by a lot of dog, I don't mean size-wise. She's just got a lot of energy, and she's got a set of wheels on her. So when she wants to roll, she goes. She was a problem for her owners to handle. She has some inappropriate behavior in the presence of other dogs. All of these things we've been working on. But she's got a bit of an edge to her. Not that she's aggressive or anything, but she has a high degree of, shall we say, resistance, and being able to reach her without really thumping her and putting a bunch of pressure on her. We just simply put her in a prong collar, and it basically helped her settle down a great deal. But anyways, back to the thing. When we go to extract a dog from a crate, any dog, mature adult, puppy, whatever, we instruct owners to do this the same way each and every time. I expect the dog to be calm before I ever open the door. When I am getting ready to to extract the dog from the crate, I have the leash in one hand, the chain collar in the other. This is the first piece of equipment we place on the dog, and we do it in a very specific way. So when I make the collar, I'm holding it in my left hand. Excuse me. And that way, when I go to extract the dog, I'm extracting the dog from the crate. I'm not allowing the dog to blow through the crate. And I'm going to back up a little bit. Oy. So that way I can open the crate door fully. I'm holding the leash in my left hand. I go to open the door, and when she decides to stand up, what she's doing because I'm taking so long, again, I'm waiting for sit. I'm not opening the door when the dog is in a state of arousal. People like using words like reactive and all these other things. I prefer the word aroused because that's exactly what it is. Now, she's gotten up again in pursuit of the food, which is fine. When she goes to sit back down again, we make the equation that if you sit, the door gets to open. And this is something that we ask owners to practice. Don't wait until your dog has a pressing need to leave the crate. Do this when the dog doesn't, so that you start creating a precedent for behavior while the dog is still confined. As you can see, I'm not saying sit. I'm not even demanding sit. I'm simply expecting sit before any other thing occurs. She sat, I open the door, I extract the dog, here, by the collar. I slip the collar on my leash over her head. Because she doesn't have a lot of real estate on her neck, I'm taking the ID collar off. And I'm controlling her in such a way that she can't escape. When I go to place the prong collar on, I simply go under her head. I make sit happen. And again, the dog does not get the excuse of doing whatever it wants simply because it's free. The bottom line is freedom is contingent upon behavior. And now that the prong collar is on, the chain collar is already on. The chain collar gets looped to the leash first, then the prong collar, and we're ready to work. I shut the crate door. I reward my dog's cooperation. Yes. Hey, here you go. And then we're ready to move on.